What's good, homies? Welcome back to Homie Checkpoint. Are you feeling okay, bro? In today's episode of The Gray Area, we're going to talk about opening up to people. You know, the people we're close to, and also the people who maybe we wish we hadn't shared some of that stuff about us with them. I'm going to go ahead and get the ball rolling here, homie. Have you ever went through some bullshit and just lay in your bed like, damn, man, life sucks? You know, I live in that headspace myself a lot, but luckily for me, I've got the homies, the boys, and the goons to fall back on.
And, we all go through bullshit and trauma. It happens to everybody. It's part of life. It's one I feel like most of us have accepted. But something I want to try and drive home here is that no problem is a non-issue. If it is affecting you in any negative way at all, don't try to ignore it. It is something Josh has said to me on multiple occasions. Shit is shit. Just because this pile of shit is bigger than that one doesn't make it any worse. So if it's affecting you in a negative way, try to take those necessary steps to overcome that problem.
So a lot of us may have grown up on this mantra where it's like, suck it up, man up, grow up, all that kind of bullshit. That shit is toxic as fuck. Just take that shit, throw it away. You don't need that kind of thing. If you live by that kind of code, all you're really doing is bottling shit up, and I'd be a hypocrite about it, but I do that shit myself a lot. And, I think of myself as the kind of guy where it's like, I can pretty much deal with whatever. I'm going to keep trucking on no matter what. But if you're that kind of guy with, in your friend dynamic or whatever, do your part, man. Just reach out to when they're being bothered by some shit. And don't try to shut them down. Don't be like, suck it up, man. You got to do what you can to help out, because if you care about that person, then all that's going to do is open up a line of communication with them. And that does nothing but help. Shit is way easier to conquer together than it is apart.
Hey man, you're probably thinking, it's like, whoa, you're kind of hitting me with a lot all at once. What's a good place to start? Well, a really good place to start is starting with yourself. Maybe learn how to deal with stuff outside of bottling it up and shoving it so far down that you just don't think about it anymore. Maybe learn how to communicate with others and letting them know that there is a problem. And this is going to sound like a kind of Captain Obvious kind of thing, but if they don't know there's a problem, they can't help you. And if you might be thinking, God, man, what if I am annoying them, or what if I piss them off? I'm going to stop you right there. Scrap that train of thought. It is no help to you at all. It's only going to hurt you. Because I will promise this to you right now. You have people in your life that love you, that care for you, that want to see you succeed. And those people are going to be so much more willing to listen to you complain and vent and whatever for however long it takes than they are to just sit around and watch you suffer because you're too afraid to open up. And yeah, man, just leave a comment if you don't have anyone you feel comfortable opening up to, because honestly, just leaving a comment on one of our videos, it's better than nothing. It, like Josh says, and like Josh is going to say, it'll open up a line of communication. And it's not a strong one, but it's something. And hey, it might even become one of these videos. Obviously, with anything we talk about, will and remain anonymous.
Alright, man, so once you've opened up, you've already done the hard part. Things are going to start to get easier. Now, I'm not saying your problem is going to vanish overnight, because that's just not realistic. But one thing that opening up to people can do is give you a sense of perspective. It's happened to me a lot of times where I'm telling somebody some bullshit, and then as it's coming out of my mouth, I'm like, wow, this really isn't as big of a deal as I was making it out to be. And boom, just like that problem's no more. And I feel that a lot of the times, just doing that will help you so much more than, just sitting around balling shit up. I'm just saying.
And hey, I would wager to say that this one step, in and of itself, will push you so far in the right direction that it can solve a great majority of most issues. And by all means, this is not an end-all be-all kind of thing. It's not going to solve everything. Don't take it that way. But it can solve a fair amount of problems. And I'm gonna move on to another topic here. Maybe, you're talking to somebody and, they're kind of downplaying your problems. And, I mean, I'm gonna be real with you. If that happens, they're honestly not the type of person you need to open up to. Well, there are a couple other scenarios. Like, well, what if you open up to somebody and you kind of wish you hadn't? Or if, you take you take that time, build up your courage, take that leap of faith, and the person you've opened up to really isn't in any sort of position to be giving advice on this topic.
All right, so our advice with that, man, is if somebody's like suck it up, whatever, just end that conversation as soon as you can. The fact of the matter is they're not going to be able to give you the kind of help you need. If you want what I would do, I'd just be like, you know what, homie, you right, man. But thanks for the love, all that stuff. Dap them up and get out of there. Because the sooner you get out of that conversation and into the one where people are listening to you and offering help, the better off you're going to be. The fact of the matter is that dude over there probably needs a wake up call himself. And, we're not going to talk about that here, but we are going to make a video about that eventually.
And, that conversation will most likely go one of two ways. One is probably the one you're looking for if you did take that route, is, they'll assume you're good and they'll go about their day. If they do have any reservations, they're just probably not going to say anything. Number two, well, that's the more complicated one. That's the one where they continue to bug you. And if that's what's happening, you just got to be real with them. It's like, hey man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not in the headspace to be talking about this right now. Can we just not talk about it? And yeah, that sounds kind of rude, but you got to keep in mind, bro. You opened up to somebody in the first place because something was wrong. That just doesn't suddenly go away because the first person you opened up to wasn't the right person. There's a problem that still needs to be solved. And your mental health does come first. So if it's rude, I mean, I guess it is what it is. You need to take that step. And, sometimes an important step could be a step back, taking some, time, do some self reflection. Especially if you're the type of person who's constantly asking, is like, you good, bro? Are you okay, man? What's wrong? You might not be the man for this type of job. And if that's the case, do what you can. Offer some support. Offer some good laughs if you can.
Alright, so these episodes wouldn't be complete if we didn't offer our own struggles with the issue at hand. So, homies, I'm going to lay something kind of heavy on you. Back in 2018, my grandma passed away. Now, I'm not going to run you through that whole, train wreck, but what I am going to tell you about is how I handled it very, very poorly. So, leading up to her passing away, we knew that she was very ill for a very long time. And I just kind of bottled this shit up. I'm not going to lie. But if I had taken the steps and opened up to people around me, I would have avoided some very intense situations. So, for example, one night, me and my roommate got into a pretty heated argument over a fucking video game. And it went way, way, way past the point of where it should have. And I'm not going to lie to you, and I don't really care about what y'all think about me, but I fucking ended up crying. I sobbed in front of this man. And, we both said some hurtful shit to each other. And all that could have been avoided if I had just, told him beforehand, hey, look, man, I'm going through some shit right now. Just please, leave me be. Let's just try to avoid conflict altogether. They say that you can't take back the hurtful things you do to people and the hurtful things you say to people. And I'm going to be honest, I regret that shit every single fucking day. And just think, if I had just taken that time and said, yo, I'm going through something right now, I wouldn't have to be worrying about this. And that's what I want you to take away from what I'm saying.
Oh boy, looks like it's my turn now. So I'm going to be talking about something that happened to me in 2016, in August. And for those of you who do know me, you probably know what I'm going to say. You've probably heard the story before. Back in August of 2016, my mother passed. It was very sudden. None of us saw it coming. All of a sudden, it was the type of, she was there one day and she wasn't the next. And I'm gonna be real, that was easily the most trying time in my life. It felt like a make or break situation, and I was this close to giving up so many times because I just didn't feel like it was worth it at the time. And I handled that situation so poorly. I pushed everyone away, family, friends. I rejected all forms of help because I was like, I've dealt with all of my problems by myself up to this point. I can handle this one too. I don't want to burden anybody else. I don't want them to have to worry about me. I don't feel like I'm worth their time. And that is such a wrong way to handle like this kind of situation. And I want to say this, and it's something I try to let all of my friends know, is I like to try and keep an open line of communication between me and my friends, letting them know that I will always be there to listen to them, let them vent, be a shoulder to cry on, because I know what it's like to be in a situation dealing with this extreme trauma when it feels like no one's got your back, no one's got no one's in your corner. And looking back on all this now, I can't help but echo something Josh has said and recommended, is that above all else, and if you take anything away from my little anecdote here, please do not shut out the people who care about you, the people who love you, and the people who want to help you. I can speak from personal experience because I did this. It led to easily the darkest time in my life. It can lead to things like depression, violence, and in extreme cases, suicidal tendencies, thoughts, and actions. And I can't say without a doubt that if I had opened up to somebody, it would have made my situation easier. But what I do know is that if I had, it would have made the entire situation of just coping and learning to live life without my mom anymore, it would have made the whole situation smoother, and I probably wouldn't have had to deal with my mental illnesses for as long as I had. So, my final thing for my little anecdote is these people wouldn't be around if they didn't care about you. So you need to know that you deserve to get help if you need it.
So, guys, the big takeaway from this video should be that it is far from easy to open up to people. We all know that, but it's necessary if you want to be able to conquer your problems with the people around you, if you want the people close to you to be able to help you. It makes a difference between a situation defining your life and a situation that you overcame. And the fact of the matter is, we ain't none of us getting out alive. We might as well work together while we can.
Well, that was a pretty heavy episode, wasn't it, homies? Well, I think that's a good place for us to end this episode of The Gray Area. And like always, we will have any and all links that we can find that we think might be helpful in the description below. And as always, we want to try and leave an open line of communication between us and you guys, the audience, our subscribers, and the people who watch our videos. If you have a problem that you want to talk about, we are here for you. And if you just have something you want to hear our personal perspectives on, more than welcome, and it might even be a video. So with all that said, peace out, homies.